Rogers Dab Chevrolet was just a regular car dealership here in Brandon, Mississippi, and about 10 years ago we started branching off with our parts department, and we became one of the top 3 largest parts departments for powertrain, for engines and transmissions in the country. So in doing so, why not support the industry that supports the most powertrain, which is your performance engines and racing? And there's a need there that was not being filled. There was a customer base that was not being taken care of.
We keep the sealed crate motors in stock, the 602, the 604s, the 525s. Whether you're driving a late model or a modified or a street stock, we've got an engine for your car. We also carry the accessory kits, KRC drives. We also do Gary Williams carburetors. We've been in this for a couple years now, and we're doing it to benefit the racers.
Everyone is trying to get into racing, knows that it's not a cheap sport to get into. So price structure was a big thing in taking care of the racers, and we knew early on that we did not want to make this a profit center. We wanted to make it about the racers. Price is a big thing. However, customer service is where it's at. And we've had several instances where racetracks have called us and said, hey, we had a driver out here qualifying and their engine popped, and it's Friday night at 9 o'clock, and our team, Benny and Ryan, are calling me and saying, hey boss, we need to take care of this race car driver. Let's get them an engine as soon as possible. And they'll be here before sunrise the next morning on Saturday morning, pulling that engine, getting it to that person so they can get it installed and be racing that night. That's the kind of customer service we want to deliver.
The following is a special presentation of Crate Racin USA, America's leader in racing. This is Crate Racin USA Live.
They're side by side. The top 2 of the points are 4th and 5th right now. Here comes Jimmy Thomas. We're back underway out of turn 4. 13 circuits to go around the Talladega short track, and we now have ourselves a battle for the lead. Out of turn number 4, Jeremy Steele wins the Turkey 100. This is America's leader in racing, the Rogers Dab Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series 4Y.
And now your host, Cody Earley.
Well, hello there again, and welcome into another edition of Crate Racing USA Live. It is episode 22. Hello there. My name is Cody Earley, as always. Glad to be with you. Well, coming up on tonight's show, we're going to talk with a newly crowned king. No, not in England, in Tuscumbia. That's right, the king of the mods crowned its 6th different king this past Saturday night, and we'll have one of them coming up on the show. Logan Hickerson got it done for a $3,000 payday on Saturday night at North Alabama Speedway. We'll chat with him, and we'll chat with the man behind the next racing wheel. That's right, Taylor T.J. Weld. We'll chat with him on this show about his product, how it became to be, and his background in motorsports. We'll chat with him coming up later on tonight. But now it's time to get you caught up on what happened this past weekend. It was week 26 of Crate Racing USA National Points Competition. Mother Nature struck first on Friday night, raining out Hattiesburg Speedway and Highway 72 Speedway. Up to Paducah we go. It was night 1 of the Midwest Dirt Nationals. Prelims for almost everything except for the street stocks. It was Justin McDaniel cashing in on his 3rd win of the year. Keep that name in mind for just a little bit later. Saturday, we go to Cottonwood Speedway. It was double points for the late model sportsman, and Grayson Ott scored the victory on Saturday night. To the Playground of Power, it was the Don Cook Memorial Weekend, along with a big demolition derby. The Crate Racing USA Modifieds, it was Bucky Gregory getting his first win of the 2026 season. Jackson Motor Speedway in Byron, Mississippi was postponed due to Mother Nature. It was a full racing night at Columbus, Mississippi at the MAG. Dirt Late Model winner, Josh Parkerson. Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman winner for the 10th time this year, and the points leader, Chase Pennington, that is Chase with a C, got the win. It was Brandon Hill for his 2nd win in the 2026 season in the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks, and Crate Racing USA Modified Sportsman went to Parker Price, his 5th win of the 2026 season. Off to Tuscumbia we go. It was the King of the Mods weekend. A $3,000 payday went to the winner of the Crate Racing USA Modified Sportsman, and that driver, Logan Hickerson. Here's track announcer Mark Mitchell.
Hickerson down the back stretch, white checkered on the restart. Out of turn number 4, checkered flag's going to wave. It's going to be Linden, Tennessee's Logan Hickerson taking up your king of mods for 2026.
And the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman was also in action. Gary Tucker scored his first win of the 2026 season. Once again, Mark Mitchell.
White flags in the air one more time around for Gary Tucker. Down the back straightaway, he's got a good 2-3 car length lead. He'll keep it around the middle of the racetrack, coming to the flag stand. The 17 out of Fayetteville, Tennessee, Gary Tucker, taking your Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman division.
Back to the Bluegrass State we go. It was the championship night for the Midwest Dirt Nationals. The Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman had a $5,000 payday, and it was Dylan Thompson getting the win. Crate Racing USA Street Stocks, remember I said remember the name Justin McDaniel? Well, he swept the weekend. He picked up his 4th win on Saturday night. Pike County Speedway in Magnolia, the Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Models, Noah Daspit picked up his 2nd win of the season, and the streak continues. Calvin Martin's quest for a 4th national championship saw his 19th win of the season and his 10th straight on Saturday night at Pike County. Down to Milton, Florida, the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman, Cody Cook was awarded the winner after the original winner got DQ'd due to post-race tech inspection. The historic 441 Speedway in Dublin welcomed the Southern Clash Late Models. It was Caleb Gay, however, getting the win in the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman, his 3rd of the season, and Matt Davis continues what has been a great year for him. His 6th win of the year came in the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks. On Sunday at Windy Hollow Speedway in Owensboro, Kentucky, the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks were allowed to keep the tops off. They got a $100 bonus if they did so. It was Jeff Macy picking up the win, his 4th of 2026 in the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks. For the Sanctioned Series, it was the Mississippi Crate Late Racing Series in action. They were in Greenville over the weekend. Nick Thrash scored his 2nd straight win in the series. A big boost for him in the points. Only 1 race left in the 2026 Mississippi Crate Late Racing Series season. He sets 3rd, 20 points back, but it's Landon Jackson who sets at the top of the point standings. Chris McElhaney sets 2nd, down only 15. The season finale for the Mississippi Crate Late Racing Series comes September 12th. Back at Greenville, they'll race for $2,000. That's what happened this past weekend. It was week 26 of competition. That means when we get into this weekend's racing, there are only 5 weeks left of Crate Racing USA national points to be had. The season is winding down quickly. We knew once we flipped that calendar from August to September, things would go by quick. That gets you caught up on everything that happened this past weekend. It's time to welcome our first guest. And that guest, he is the official king of the mods. We got Logan Hickerson from Linden, Tennessee coming up. He's our first guest tonight on the show. You're listening to Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
When performance matters, champions choose Hoosier Racing Tires. As the largest race tire manufacturer in the world, Hoosier produces over 1,000 different types of race tires, engineered for speed, precision, and winning results. With cutting-edge technology like a 300-mile-per-hour test wheel, a state-of-the-art production facility, and advanced mixing plant, Hoosier continues to lead the way in racing innovation worldwide. Hoosier Racing Tires. We fuel passion, pride, and success with our tires designed for champions. Order today at HoosierTire.com or call 574-784-3152. Hoosier Racing Tires. Tires designed for champions.
Racers are dedicated to winning. And Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed Circle Track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance Circle Track crate engines are engineered to win. Right out of the box.
I'm Matt Williamson. And you know, the thing with the VP Racing Oil is we trusted the fuel for so many years that it was easy to switch to the oil, and we're glad we did. The stuff is phenomenal. It's the best oil out there, and we have all the confidence in the world in every fluid we run on the race car because it comes from VP.
VP Fuel and Lubricants is the only oil and lubricants that we use in our 3-car program, and it's the only one we trust for that.
In racing, every edge matters. Next Racing Wheels may be new to the scene, but behind the name is over 35 years of innovation from Taylor TJ Weld. Built with 100% CNC precision, Next Wheels feature a one-piece center, bolted outer half, and an O-ring seal, eliminating leaks and weak points. And with bead screw technology, you get superior tire retention without the hassle of bead locks. Stronger, lighter, built to handle the abuse while reducing deflection for better traction and balance. Plus, the bolt-together design means faster repairs and more money in your pocket. Innovation, performance, value. Check us out at nextracingwheels.com or find us on Instagram. Next Racing Wheels. The future is next.
Feel the thunder. Experience the heart-pounding action of Crate Racing USA from dirt tracks across the South. Catch every lap, every pass,
3 wide, just momentarily for the lead.
Every victory with Crate Racing USA TV.
The modified main event on this Friday night.
Watch live events or dive into on-demand replays anytime. Whether it's a single night shootout or a full weekend of racing, you're in control. Never miss a moment. Watch from anywhere. Visit CrateRacingUSA.tv now for upcoming events and full race replays. Crate Racing USA TV, America's leader in racing.
Can't make it to the track? Crate Racing USA TV has you covered. From live events to on-demand replays, Crate Racing USA TV is your go-to for everything Crate Racing USA. Watch from anywhere at any time. Simply visit CrateRacingUSA.tv and never miss a lap. Welcome back to Crate Racing USA Live. Our first guest is on the line, and I guess we could say we are in the presence of royalty now. The newest king in the sportsman modified world, Logan Hickerson, is with us. Logan, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, I got to ask, have you ever had a crown placed on your head before last Saturday night?
I have had one crown, but I can't remember what the race name was, but it was some little rinky-dink race. I had a crown, but I didn't have a cape. So,
well, for the folks that don't know, Logan Hickerson picked up the King of Mods, the 6th annual King of Mods down in Tuscumbia, Alabama at the North Alabama Speedway on Saturday night. Pretty cool. The 6th different winner to be able to pick this event up, including your dad, who did it back in 2023. This event, 30 mods down there on Saturday night. This event continues to be a very popular one, especially in the northern Alabama area.
Oh, yes, sir. It's one of the bucket list ones. You know, I've raced it for, I want to say 3-4 years now. And I feel like I've about been in contention for the win about every one of them. And, I was finally able to get it done this year. You know, I'm glad to have my name on the list.
Well, overall, 7th win of your 2026 season. I was looking through stats, 22 features this year for you, 20 times you've been in the top 10, 17 times in the top 5. Man, what's kind of the secret sauce behind that? Consistency seems to be something that you've been able to do on and off all year long.
Oh yeah. Secret sauce is mainly my dad. You know, he helps me out a ton when I'm not able to work on the cars, as I'm in college, and he's really just been the best mentor. You know, from most people don't have the privilege of having somebody in a race car before they start, you know, and I've been at the racetrack all my life with him, and he's been one of the best mentors I could ask for.
Well, you yourself have had a pretty good career, especially multiple Crate Racing USA Modified Sportsman victories. You've been inside the top 5 in the national points multiple times. This event, you know, adding your name to the list, and for the folks that aren't familiar, if you go back and you look at the winners of this event, Kyle Clifton won it the first year, Clayton Miller, then, of course, Logan's dad, Eric, Brady Qualls, and Lucas Lee a year ago was able to get the win in this event. King of the Mods, and this is a class. Obviously, you see this week in and week out. I feel like the Crate Racing USA Modified Sportsman, it's kind of been a resurgence. I know we've seen big car counts at Talladega this year multiple times. Is that something that you kind of feel that throughout the season you've went, the car counts have continued to pick back up with these modifieds?
Oh, for sure. At one point this year, I was thinking, well, I think the mods are finally. You know, everybody's saying the mods are dying, but I think the mods are picking back up, and it's it's weird because up north, you would think all the A-mod guys would be like, oh, I'm staying in my A-mod. But they're like, we don't have many A-mods no more. Let's drop to the B-mods. And it ain't no drop for sure. But the competition in B-mods, whether it's 10, 30, or 50, I mean, at least 25 of the field can win at any point,
And I know a lot of people will say late models. Well, your all's argument, I feel like for a big argument is, okay, hey, come to my world. We have half of the Hoosier tire that you have, and the car just handles completely different. What is kind of the feel for somebody that's never driven a modified? I know I've heard a lot of people say it's just kind of flirting with the edge every time you get out on the racetrack. What's kind of the feel being behind the wheel of one of these things?
It's a blast. I've drove a lot of race cars in my short little career, and my favorite to date is the modified. I tell everybody it's the best car to learn in because you never know when you're going to spin out, and you never know when to stay on the gas. And it's so many things that plays a factor in the modifieds that you learn from, and I feel like it helps you in the late model world when you finally are able to make that step up.
And you talk about your career. Let's dive into that. I mean, you say your little career, but what gets you started? Obviously, we've hinted at your dad, and we're going to come back to that a little bit here in a little bit. But what kind of gets your career started? Where do you? What's the first thing you set in competition wise? Where does your story go?
Back I want to say 2000, maybe 10. I was racing a little Honda 90. And at the fair races, and I was hooked after that. I've got my first win. My dad was there. Everybody was there. And it's like an addiction, just a good addiction,
So when it comes to big cars, obviously the modifieds, has that kind of been your where you look to stay, where you're comfortable? What's kind of the story with staying in the mod?
Really, The big goal is to be big time super late model guy, but our funds can't really afford that. It super late model stuff. You got to have backup cars and multiple motors and all that. But that's the big goal at the end of it. For modified wise, I just think it's the best paying out. In our region. We've got a lot of competition. We've got a lot of tracks we can travel to up north, down south, and around the area. But I've not just stuck with one car, I guess you could say. I would drive anybody put me behind.
Obviously, you're from Linden, Tennessee. What's some home tracks around you? What's some places that you call home, or some tracks maybe you cut your teeth at?
Well, Tennessee National was the home track. They have unfortunately sold out, and I think it's a flat track motorcycle place. But that was where I grew up, and that was where I raced all the time, it seemed like. And then Thunder Hill was my second track that I guess you could call home.
Now, you say Thunder Hill. For the folks that have never been to Thunder Hill, I am, of course, in East Tennessee, and we've got two tracks in East Tennessee that when you talk banking, we may have some of the steepest banking in the country, being Tazewell and Volunteer. Thunder Hill is no slouch when it comes to banking for somebody that's never been there. What's it like to go around that place at full speed on that big banking?
Oh, it's bad to the bone. It's one of them tracks that some people say, I don't think I'm going to go there because it's a high banked and no walls, especially off the back stretch, there's no walls. It used to have no wall in one. And I've seen many people fly off turn one, and it ain't a good feeling, I would imagine. But it's a bad to the bone track, and you're up to speed.
Well, you talk about your racing career, and you talk about your dad's too. When you look back at it, your dad's got a Lucas Oil late model start. He's got multiple World of Outlaw starts, 31 Southern All-Stars, super late model starts. When you look back at his career, can you remember when you were a kid and realizing, man, this is super cool what my dad's doing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I've been at the track, no telling how many times with him. Whether I could play with race cars in the mud or be a tire grinder guy or scrape mud off of race cars. I was always there and helping as much as I could, whether I was in the way or not. I wanted to be at the racetrack.
So when it comes to you guys being at the racetrack, how much can you help each other? Obviously, everybody is their own driver, but when it comes to comparing notes, when it comes to maybe getting these cars where they need to be, are you guys pretty similar in driving style?
We go hand in hand. He likes a freer race car than I do. I like to be a little snugger than him. But when it comes to comparing, I mean, we both know the feel. I mean, he's been in the game a whole lot longer than I have, and he knows the feeling a lot better than I do. So he tells me something, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of agree with that. And then we bounce back and forth pretty often.
Well, picking up the win Saturday night, adding your name to that list, there's not as many, I guess you could say, headlining mod events, but this one here always seems to stand out in the region. And you finally get to put your name on there. And I know you kind of talked a little bit about that earlier, but being able to solidify your spot in that list of those names. And I mean, Lucas Lee winning the event last year, I think was a big deal. Put a lot of headlines on that event. For you to go down there this year and put your name on it, where does that kind of put you, in your career? Where do you feel like you're at right now?
I don't really know. That's one of the things you just gotta. It's super nice and super great, and I'm glad I won it. But it's just I gotta keep on keeping on. You can't let it get in your headspace, and not be humble, as I like to say it. I try to be as humble as I can, and act like I've never even won a race. You never know when you never know when you're gonna get beat.
Well, we still got quite a bit left in 2026. What's some things on the calendar? Is there some races you've got circled? What's some things for folks listening, paying attention that would like to see in competition in that 98? Where's some places coming up?
B-Mod Nationals at Brownstown. It's 10,000 to win. It's up north. That's always on the agenda. It might not be in the 98, but going back to why not in the street stock in the Bennett Street stock, that's on the agenda. And there's, just any races with money, that's what we're after. We're after the money and the headlines.
So you mentioned the Street Stock Nationals. We just come off of that, being able to see that event. What is that event in your mind?
It was crazy. I've been to the championship 2 years ago, and I was like, look, I don't know how this can be any different than what the championship was. And boy, was I wrong. Everybody said, you don't know what the Nationals is till you ever been. And it was different.
Well, you did pretty good. First time you ever made the big show, and you got yourself a top 10 out of it. That's a ninth place finish in that event. First time, I'm assuming, and I asked this question when it comes to the Street Stock Nationals, first time ever starting a race 3 wide on purpose?
Yep.
I know we talked with Spencer Hughes a couple of shows ago, and that's what I said. Starting 3 wide on purpose. I'm sure there's other races during the year where you start 3 wide, maybe you just don't know it, but on purpose. What's kind of that feeling when they wave the green in that event?
I was stuck on the very top, so I was thinking, man, I just hope they don't think that nobody's out here and they come up and wad the whole field up. I'm thinking, let's get through this first corner, and I think we'll be all right.
Well, obviously, the big win on Saturday night, the 6th annual King of Mods, and it wasn't one that you kind of moseyed into, man. Took the lead on lap 5 and just didn't look back. For the folks that's not been to North Alabama, I know we talked a little bit about Thunder Hill and not having walls. That place there doesn't have walls either, except on the front straightaway. And I feel like the last couple of years, that racetrack has gotten a lot better as far as competition level goes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. North Alabama, it's always been one of the tracks that we've been able to do pretty good down there, and which they usually provide a pretty good racing surface. And Saturday was top to bottom all over the place on it, so it was a pretty good time.
Well, let me ask you this: Are you taking your crown with you when you go to Brownstown here in a little bit?
I really want to, but they might think, well, he ain't right.
Well, for the folks that don't know, where's the hometown at? Where exactly are you located?
We're in Linden, Tennessee, and most of the time when I say Linden, Tennessee, they're like, "Where is that at?" Then I'll tell them, "Well, we're about an hour and a half west of Nashville."
So a pretty good selection of racetracks. Obviously, when it comes to the Crate Racing USA side of things, most of the time you have to go a little further south. What's the chances on maybe chasing one of these national championships in a few years? Maybe going after one of these titles.
We've always accidentally ended up, in the top 5 or top 10 by the end of the year. I'm like, dang, man, I should have raced here or there a couple more times and had a good shot at it. It's kind of like this year. In crate racing point terms, my worst finish is a second, and it's like if I raced them, 3 or 4 more times, I would be having a shot at the championship. But it's always been in the back of the mind. It's just it usually never works out because of the cars I drive. Like I said, on chasing the money and chasing the titles and the headliners, it just usually never ends up working out. But maybe someday.
Well, and I was going to say the stats for the folks that are curious. You had those stats pretty on cue. 7 features, 5 wins, 7 top 5s, 7 top 10s. I mean, that's pretty solid. 7 races, 5 wins. And you mentioned the only 2 times that you didn't win, you were second. So that's pretty sporty.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do it without my dad and this big built chassis. It's definitely flying this year. We've got a lot of support from them, and David and Kyle. They help us a ton. We bounce back and forth with Dotes, and if we're good and all that, and it's been great with this big built chassis.
Well, the question that I have saved here towards the end, that I know that if I don't ask, then everybody's going to be wondering why that I didn't ask. Well, who's the better driver? Is it you or is it your dad? What's the answer to that?
The respectable answer would be, well, both of us have our both nights. We have our good nights. But my answer is going to be me. But when I start showboating and say, "Oh, you ain't no good, I'm going to beat you," well, you guess what happens? He's going to beat me. he's going to talk smack to me. So
has there been a time that you can remember, maybe a certain race that maybe that's happened? Maybe you've been out front and all of a sudden here he comes and he gets by you, and then you've got to go back to the trailer and you've got to take whatever's coming your way. Has there been any of those nights that you can remember?
There is. Back when Chelsea Riddle owned her modified series, me and him was tied for the points for the win going into the last race at North Alabama. And we started side by side. I wanted to say like 5th and 6th. And I was able to drive kind of through the field, and I think I was pacing about 2nd. And next thing you know, I see a blue 11. I said, "Oh, no." And next thing you know, he takes the lead. I'm like, "Oh, no." And after that night, he of course won, and then won the points that night. And I never heard the end of it.
But that stuff, when it's all said and done, those are the memories that I think that a lot of folks, we've talked about on this show with people that have family that go on the road. That's stuff that you guys will be able to have. You're going to have that forever. You're going to have that memory of being able to do that. And obviously, he's still competitive. He's still getting behind the wheel and getting the job done. No real slowing down, right?
He's slowed down a little bit, but it's more or less just to help me and watch me. Anytime he gets behind the wheel, he's always a threat. He's after the big shows and the headlines and the paychecks too. You never can count old dad out.
Well, Logan wears the crown proud now as the king of mods for 2026. He picks up the $3,000 payday at North Alabama Speedway. Folks that help you get up and down the road. I know you got some great sponsors. You got some great family. Thank all those folks that are a part of your all's racing program.
Oh, for sure. We've got Casey with Tree Pro. He's hopped on about 2 or 3 years ago, and he travels around with us in races, and he's been a big asset to the team. He helps out a ton. We've got Quality Building Supply, Ronnie's Construction and Home Improvement, Twisted Performance Machine. There are power plants behind our cars. I mean, every one of our cars has a twisted motor in it and has never let us down. Buffalo River Rehab, Buffalo River Resort, KSR Transmissions. We picked them up this year. It's been nothing but great with them. Right Works, Barndo Builders, Beak Built, like I said, Pro Performance Racing, and Pro Performance Productions. That's all of our media. My fiance does a great job with all that. We've got K1 Race Gear, Henry Headers, Harrington Construction, Richardson Mobile Welding, Troy's Tire, Zimmer Engineering, Hickerson Farms, and of course all my crew, Walker, my dad, Ricky, Shelby. I'm sure I'm leaving people out. I'm blessed to have so many people help me and support me throughout the weekend and the week. If it wasn't for all of them, we wouldn't be where we're at now, because it takes a team to do what we're be able to do. So.
Well, Logan, man, congratulations. You got your name on the list. The 6th different winner of the King of Mods, 7th win of the 2026 season. And, continue year after year to get better and get more wins. And looking forward to seeing where the journey goes. For the folks that are out there, and we have our fendered people out there. I like to joke around. We got our non-fendered folks and we got our fendered folks. When you compare the street stock to the mod, what's the comparison? I know a lot of people are street stocks are there are a lot of people talking street stocks right now. Where would you put the street stock compared to driving that mod most of the time?
The street stock just feels like a longer boat. That's the best way I can put it, I guess. It's a super fun car to drive, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't move like a modified does, I guess. It's not like that real nice flexible tube chassis that we have in our mods. You know, it kind of just drives like a boat. Wherever you're going, it's going to go.
Well, buddy, we appreciate you. Thanks for spending time with us. Where can we catch you at? You going to be racing this weekend anywhere?
I believe we're going to test the street stock at Thunder Hill. They've got a 5,000 to win coming up in 2 weeks, so we'll be there.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on getting crowned the King of the Mods, and thanks for spending a little bit of time with us.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
All right, Logan Hickerson, the newest member of the King of Mods family. He won Saturday night down at North Alabama Speedway. When we come back, we'll get you all caught up on all the touring action that happened at Sonoa. Both the 604s and the 602 tours were in action this past Saturday night. That's coming up next on Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
As far as I can remember, my dad was always buying VP fuel. And then once I got to a certain level of racing where I was good enough, I was sponsored by VP, and I believe VP my whole entire career is what I ran with at Mitch's at Pro Circuit, and then also Factory Kawasaki. So very reliable fuel, it makes good power, and you can relatively get it anywhere. So that's the beauty of VP, is always supporting our sport and making sure that we all have fuel to go racing.
Looking for the ultimate racing getaway? Then pack your bags and join us for the 28th annual Cruise with the Champions, January 17th through the 23rd, 2027. Set sail on the beautiful Carnival Vista for a 6-day Eastern Caribbean adventure featuring stops at Amber Cove, Half Moon Key, and Celebration Key. This is your chance to relax, connect, and hang out with your racing family away from the track. But listen up. Cabins are limited, and if you want to be close to your crew, you need to get that deposit in now. Got a Carnival code? Be sure to let us know, and always compare pricing to get the best deal. Interior, ocean view, and balcony rooms are available, but they won't last long. Got questions? Call or text 678-414-6970 today. Cruise with the Champions, where racing meets paradise.
It's time to level up your collection at Columbus Sports Cards. We're talking sports cards, Pokemon cards, and must-have sports memorabilia. Buy, sell, or trade it all in one place. Pulling heat, chasing legends, and stacking your best collection starts here. 5880 Veterans Parkway in Columbus, Georgia. 706-507-9277. Catch the action live on Whatnot and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and eBay. Open Monday through Friday 10 till 7 and Saturdays 10 to 3. Columbus Sports Cards.
Need reliable equipment to power your next project? WestPro JCB has you covered. From durable mini excavators to cutting-edge teleskids, we offer solutions that deliver performance and precision. Visit westprojcb.com today and upgrade your fleet with machines you can trust.
Whether you're a race team, track, series, or business, Matman Designs has you covered. We offer high-quality logo mats, solid mats, rubber logo scraper mats, outdoor scraper mats, Versalite mats, and even custom graphic design services to bring your brand to life. At Matman Designs, we take pride in top-notch customer service and durable, eye-catching products built to perform. Visit matmandesigns.com or find us on Facebook today for pricing tailored to your specific needs. Matman Designs, where your brand stands out from the ground up.
92 is going to get the white flag. I don't believe he's going to get to him, but white flag this time by. 1 to go, Cody. 400 time. Bring him on.
Joseph Brown will see Eric Spencer wait for white flag and into turns 1 and 2. 2005, Crate Racing USA began. Tonight, for the 400th time, they took the green. And for the 10th time in his career, Joseph Brown wins at Sonoma Raceway. Second place in drag race. It's going to be Peyton Stevenson taking second.
And that's how the 10th career series win for Joseph Brown sounded on Saturday night at the Sonoma Raceway. He cashed in his 5th win of the year and extended that points lead, picking up a milestone win, the 400th all-time feature for the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series. Welcome back to Crate Racing USA Live. Well, round number 11 officially in the books, and the second half of the season is underway. It happened with a 40-lap feature on Saturday night at Sonoma. It was a 3,000 to win. Top 10, well, it was Joseph Brown winning, Peyton Stevenson second, Diesel Jones third, rounding out the podium. Then it was Jake Rainey, Matt Dooley rounding out the top 5. 6th place went to Zach Leonardi. Bubba Rolling was 7th, Jake Knowles 8th, Wyatt Coffey 9th, and Michael Page, who rallied all the way from 22nd up to 10th. He picked up the Scorpion Race Cars Hard Charger Award. It was the overall fastest time going to Zach Leonardi. He picked up the Bama Sheds and Pole Barns Pole Award. 15.666 was the time for Leonardi. The My Race Pass Fantasy Racing fastest hot lap of the night went to the Hawkinsville Hustler, former series champion Will Harrington, 15.785. The series now turns its attention to a trip to Milton, Florida, where it was announced yesterday that the Southern Raceway, the Hunt the Front Southern Raceway, will welcome the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series, and boy, how will they welcome them? With a humongous weekend, the inaugural Barney Barnhill Memorial, paying tribute to the man, that built Southern Raceway. How cool is that? They're going to have a humongous fireworks weekend. Saturday will feature twin 1,500 to win qualifying features. The top 3 from those features go into a dash on Sunday, and they'll be racing for the top 3 rows. That's right. The top 3 finishers in both of those twin qualifiers go onto that dash, and they'll have to earn their way into the top 3 spots. How they finish the dash is how they start the 10,000 win feature. It all happens coming up Labor Day weekend, Saturday, September the 5th, and Sunday, September the 6th. If you can't make it to the racetrack, you can watch it all live on Crate Racing USA TV and Hunt the Front TV coming up on Labor Day weekend. The points leaving Sonoma, still Joseph Brown up top. Then things get interesting. Diesel Jones now second in the points, 58 points back. By the way, the Cruise with the Champion Rookie of the Year leader. Bubba Rolling now third, a good rebound for him. He's 104 points back. Then it's Austin Yarborough fourth. Joey Armistead rounds out your top 5. Crazy to think Joey's probably ready to get away from Sonoma, but I would say that is just it. After going fastest in Group B at Penton, then getting rained out, then goes to Sonoma and was a pinball pretty much on Saturday night. He ended up picking up the Columbus Sports Cards Tough Luck Award. He sets 5th in the standings. 6th is Chase Giddens, Jonah Bozeman 7th, Griffin Smith 8th, Hayden Cardwell 9th, and Jake Knowles rounds out the top 10 in those points. Well, it wasn't just the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series in action on Saturday night. The Late Model Sportsman Tour joined us as well.
So lap 28 getting ready to go on the board. We have stayed clean and green in this one, and Matt Dooley working his way down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4.
He's almost a straightaway ahead of the 121. The 121 one, not being able to get through. White flag in the air, one to go for Matt Dooley. Cody, bring us home.
Matt Dooley here at the home track. We'll go down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. The 98 of Dooley will come off turn 4. He will win the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour. Return to Sonoma.
Indeed, Matt Dooley added his name to the all-time wins list and, well, becomes the 7th different winner in 2026 with the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman Tour. Started in the 3rd spot, and I tell you what, a 30-lap caution-free dash is what it was, but Dooley was able to slice through the back of the field and stay ahead of Pearson Lee Williams. He finished in the runner-up spot. It was Braxton Barber 3rd, Bailey Williams 4th, Peyton Stevenson, 2 top 5s for him. He finished 2nd in the 604 race. He finished 5th in the 602 feature. 6th place went to Matthew Cade. Then it was Marty Massey 7th, Alan Stick 8th, TJ Britton 9th, and Tristan Wright rounded out the top 10 for the finishing order. When it comes to the rest of the festivities, well, the pole, that went to Bailey Williams. He went 15.838. B-main winners, Justice Maurice, Craig Boozer, Alan Stick, and Jack Smith got wins in the B-mains. The championship battle, it's still Dustin Harris atop the standings. Got himself a little bit of breathing room with Griffin Jones. It's 18 points back to 2nd. Joey Tucker 3rd, 24 points back. He's tied now with Brody Thompson, who continues to inch his way up that points leaderboard. Then it's Caleb Ashby, who sets in 5th. It's Brandon Lunsford 6th, Devin Watley 7th, Knox Lambert 8th, Grayson Williams 9th, and R.J. Emerson rounds out the top 10 in the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman points. Well, now it's time to head to Cochran for the 602 late models. The Chevrolet Performance 602 late models will take on the Cochran Motor Speedway Labor Day weekend, September 5th and 6th. It'll be a 3,000 to win weekend with prelims taking place on the 5th and the actual B-mains and features happening on Sunday the 6th. That's along with that big 10,000 to win factory stock weekend that's going to be going on, and the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks will be in action as well. That's how everything wrapped up this past weekend when it comes to the touring side of things. Now it's time for our second guest. Coming up on the show, we'll chat with the man behind the next racing wheel, Taylor TJ Weld. We'll have him on the show next. You're listening to Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
Need speed? Need parts? Need results? Head to Knowles Race Parts and Bodies in Rome, Georgia, your one-stop shop for everything racing. From a full line of race parts, shock and setup services, to VP Racing fuels and lubricants, Hoosier Racing tires, and Chevrolet Performance Circle Track engines, Knowles has what it takes to get you to victory lane. Plus, with many parts in stock, you won't be waiting when it matters most. Have questions? They've got answers and the experience to back it up. Remember, Knowles knows race parts and bodies. Call 678-414-4655 or email cdkknowles66@hotmail.com today.
When it comes to race day safety, don't take chances. The Fire Suit Lady has you covered. Velocita by Melissa Markowitz is your go-to source for top quality safety gear, including SFI certified suits, gloves, shoes, and head and neck restraints, plus the latest 2025 Snell rated ZAMP helmets. Whether you're gearing up for the first time or upgrading your equipment, Melissa will make sure you get the right fit and the right protection. Trust experience. Trust safety. Velocita by Melissa Markowitz. Don't take chances.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Scorpion Race Cars, home of the Scorpion chassis in Phoenix City, Alabama, is your home for anything racing. From complete cars to any level of fabrication or repairs you need. We're a dealer for all the top brands of racing parts, fuel, and more. Need a complete setup? Give us a call today for your appointment. 334-448-0604. Scorpion Race Cars has over 50 years experience in the business. Find us on Facebook at Scorpion Race Cars or call us today. 334-448-0604.
Race fans have a home on Speed Sport 1. Feel the roar of IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series. Experience the power of American muscle with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Speed Sport 1 has a wide variety of motorsports competition that will satisfy your inner racer. From IMCA Dirt Track action to Ferrari Challenge North America. Speed Sport 1 is 24/7. Go to speedsport1.com for details and viewing options.
Did you know that your Crate Racing USA membership gets you 5% off every purchase with Velocita by Melissa Markowitz? Well, you do now. They have everything from custom measured suits to gloves, Zamp helmets, and some pretty cool swag too. Find Velocita by Melissa Markowitz on Facebook and get your order in today, and make sure to mention your Crate Racing USA membership. Welcome back to Crate Racing USA Live. Our second guest tonight is on the show, Taylor TJ Weld. He is the founder, creator of the Next Racing Wheels. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Man, glad to have you on. One of the marketing partners for the Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Model Series on the road. And Taylor, you know, this is for this product, for folks that have not seen your product, kind of tell the folks out there what exactly is the Next Racing Wheels?
Well, to get right to it, basically, I started Next Racing Wheels a couple years ago, and I've been doing this for a while in the wheel business. Some of you guys might know some of my former stuff with Weld Racing and some other companies, but when I decided to get back into the late model market, I wanted to build a product that actually made more sense for the racers that are buying their own product. It has gotten to the point where everything keeps on going up in cost. The cars keep getting faster and faster, but wheels have kind of been stuck in this time warp where nothing's changed for, it sounds crazy to say out loud, but almost 30 years. Nothing technologically has really changed. So I wanted to come up with a wheel that kind of addressed some of the needs that guys have now, with the way that the cars are much more hooked up, much more, driving off the left rear, a lot more aggressive driving. They're hitting stuff. It's just the way racing is now. And I wanted to build a product that these guys can actually afford and basically just not screw guys over. It just seems like right now there's so many products that guys are spending money on that it doesn't really get them that much faster, but they're getting a lot poorer doing it.
Yeah, and when it comes to, of course, the website, Next Race, you can go check out everything you need to find out on the website at nextracingwheels.com. You guys, there's more to it than just the wheels, right? You guys have more products. It all involves the wheels, but there's more tools and pieces there.
Yeah, I mean, the way that the funny thing about the wheel, as far as the technology that we've been using for decades, was the bead locks that everybody's had. We were back in the Weld days, we were involved with, doing the first inner bead locks. I was just talking to Mark Richards at Lucas a couple weeks ago about this. It's just one of those things where it kind of morphs and progresses. And the way that this new product is made, it's made to where you've got a wheel that essentially is for lack of a better way to explain it, it's a double bead lock all the time with no bead lock rings. And I know that loses some people because they're like, how the hell is that possible? It really comes down to some tech that's been around for even longer than bead locks, ironically, that most people don't realize. They did this back in Formula One back in the 70s with Ferrari and Terrell. And they were running it, and they kept on lowering the air pressures and lowering the air pressures to the point where F1 banned it. Then they started using it in road race carts for decades back, starting, I think, in the early 90s. And it's basically what's called bead screw technology. The screw goes in behind the tire, and it mechanically prevents the tire from moving off of the bead. The way that our bead seats are made, they're all 100% CNC machined, 100% knurled. The tire simply does not spin on the wheel. And again, this is one of those things where people say, I don't know if I believe you. We've got data and people to back that up. We've actually tested back-to-back with the other manufacturers that everybody knows. And the reality is our wheels with no beadlock rings slip less. And I'm talking a quarter of an inch, an eighth of an inch, where other brands, I won't specifically name, sometimes slip 3, 4, 5, 6 inches, sometimes halfway around the wheel. And that's not going to be good for anybody to have, from a setup standpoint or from a tire and wheel integrity standpoint.
And you guys, something else too, I noticed on the website, the repairability. That's something that I think is pretty special, at least for the racers, when it comes to maybe if a product gets damaged.
Yeah, it was always kind of the knock that we had on the Weld stuff for years, and it's kind of ironic. The Weld XLs that most guys are have been running for years. It's a welded together 2-piece wheel. So if you tear up a outer lip, the wheel's jumped. You got to throw the whole wheel away and start over. I wanted to make a wheel that was 2-piece. And then that brought up a second problem was I'm like, I kind of hate silicone. I hate silicone and the wheels together every time you got to take them apart. Why don't I just engineer these things to have an O-ring seal in it all the time that you can't screw up or over torque? So that's the way I designed it. So all these wheels come with an O-ring seal, and you can change an outer half in 5 minutes and go mount a tire on it. You don't have to wait for silicone or get the resident guy that knows how to do it without, ending up with a half a gallon of silicone on his fingers and jeans and his ears. So yeah, I tried to make this thing to where racers that actually work on their own cars and pay for their own parts, understand how this works. And, even the way we price these things, it's kind of it's an odd thing if really guys start thinking about this, where you've got the big name teams that are out there and they get, they either get heavily discounted or free product. Those guys got big time sponsors and, heavily funded car owners. And then you've got all these other guys out there that are racing out of their own pocketbook and their own companies that, it seems like they're almost subsidizing the free stuff for the big guys. So I went back and says, why don't I just go ahead and make it to where everybody's getting the fair deal right out of the gate? But I'm not going to go back and just start giving away free stuff so that we're not having to subsidize that by somebody else. So, we're trying to make this kind of a more common sense program instead of just trying to buy our way into the top teams and hope everybody else plays monkey see, monkey do.
We're talking with Taylor TJ Weld from the Next Racing Wheels. One of the things that stands out, and I know we've seen these on the track this year, the mud covers. Where did the design come from? When you're looking at them going on a racetrack, I will be the first one to raise my hand and say they look super cool at full speed on a dirt late model. Where did that idea kind of come from?
I've always kind of worked really hard on brand identity to make sure that you can look at something that's called sight branding, where it's kind of like a Coca-Cola bottle. You can look at it and you know what it is without reading it. And that's one of the things that I wanted to do, is have something that obviously it's got to look good. The mud cover itself, from an engineering standpoint, does a lot better than people realize. And I've had this question asked several times where guys are saying, well, this thing doesn't have a beadlock ring on the outside. Can I run it on a right rear and go smash the wall at Eldora? Yes, you can. But the other, going back to the cosmetics, honestly, I just want something to look cool and you can notice it right off the bat. And we knew that was going to probably work good when we had Tyler Carpenter on the product a couple years ago at the Dome, and those things are flickering and people are like, oh, those are cool. How do you change the batteries? I'm like, there's no batteries. That's just a piece of holographic film on there. And it just looks good. I mean, let's face it. If nobody cared what their cars look like, nobody paint their cars or wrap their cars. So, you got to look good to do this stuff. And we want to make sure that our product, stands up to, look good on everything else that they've got with the car.
Yeah, and Tyler Carpenter at the Dome. That brings me to my next thing. I was reading the article that's on the website. Chunky for a reason. That is something a lot of people ask why they're that way. And durability. I mean, these guys used to, you would see a lot of these late model drivers, they'd get down towards the bottom of the racetrack and they'd kind of ride. That's how it was for years. It's not that way anymore. They get every single inch of every piece of their car they can get as far as they can get it. And that's important that this product, when they do that, it doesn't let them down, right?
We always tell people the primary job of a wheel, it's got to be able to mount a tire. It's got to be able to be round. It's got to be able to mount on the car. It's got to finish races. if it doesn't finish a race, it doesn't matter how good it looks. It doesn't matter how light it is. It doesn't matter how free it was. If it doesn't finish a race, you're just sitting in the pits watching somebody else run around in circles. And we actually, I'm lucky. I've been involved in a lot of different racing disciplines, and we've done testing. And what we've found is that, especially when the track starts slicking off, that having lighter weight wheels and rotating assemblies on the rear of the car actually breaks the tires loose more often. And there's a reason that some of these sanctioning bodies have weight rules on the tire and wheel assemblies, and it's not a minimum weight, it's a maximum weight. So what we did is we wanted to make sure that we had a product that has an absolute rock solid baseline and you can go out and hit stuff. Last time I checked, racers aren't very polite, and they kind of rub on each other and they knock the rear deck lids out and everything else. So our job is to finish the race. And I just had a guy that got torpedoed on lap 3, sent me a picture. He goes, yeah, he absolutely nailed me in the left front on lap 3, ran a 25-lap race, finished the race. He goes, yeah, I'm going to have to get an outer, but I shouldn't have been able to finish that race. He goes, I'm a believer. I get it now. And that's part of it. The other thing you got to consider, the wheels that basically everybody's been running are 30-year-old technology. Now, you think about everything else on these cars in the last 30 years, just in the last 10 years or 5 years, that's changed. And think about the amount of, wear and tear that we have now versus what we had. You guys just don't race as gentlemanly as they used to. And I think everybody kind of knows what I mean by that. So you got to think about everything else that's been beefed up on these cars. And I think wheels are kind of the last piece that really hasn't been addressed, because everybody's just kind of shrugged their shoulders and says, well, they're not falling off that often. And I'm like, man, I don't want it to fall off at all. Wheels are not something that, when a wheel leaves a car, when a wheel breaks, bad stuff happens pretty spectacularly. And I don't want to be a part of that. I want to make sure these guys are safe and they can go to the next race and they can repair whatever they got. And that's how, from a big company standpoint, we can stay in business. We do a good job and take care of our customers, and the product does what it's supposed to do, and they get it when they need it. Guys call me right now. I have this happen a lot. Guys will call and they're like, yeah, I want to order, 12 wheels. And they're like, when can they ship? I'm like, well, as soon as we're done here in about 2 hours, they're going to ship. And that's not very common in a lot of other parts manufacturers in this industry. We don't offer every single option, but the stuff we do offer, we have on the shelf and we ship it.
Yeah, and then that's why a lot of people, when it comes to the next racing wheel, it's a big discussion, a big topic, that they are intrigued at how good the product is, especially with you made the comment of how folks race these days. That's very important to have something that will last. And speaking of lasting, your last name, Weld, that is something when it comes to the motorsports world. You're not new to the business by no means. Yourself, you're closing in on 40 years, but your last name, man, tell us about just the history about you, what got you into racing, what's kind of your road that leads you to where we are here today?
Well, it's, my name's Taylor Weld. It's not some supreme irony. Part of the Weld family that started Weld Wheels, Weld Racing back in the day. My dad, Greg Weld, started Weld Wheels in 1967 as a racer. He was a, open wheel sprint car racer and IndyCar racer, and couldn't find wheels he wanted for his own car. And my grandfather, who I'm named after, Taylor Pappy Weld, he's like, well, let's just make some. And there's a whole bunch of other, folk tales about how all that stuff happened. But it really comes down to, I grew up in a wheel building family. And I started working in the shop, in earnest when I was 14. Working in the machine shop, tool and die shop, learning from, old school craftsmen that, I got the best education you could ever get. And it wasn't in a college. It was by guys that, got their hands dirty every day and turned knobs on, on machines. And I learned from the ground up, and I built all the stuff at Weld Racing for 20 years. We sold that company. I built another one, sold that one, built another one, sold that one. And the last one I sold in 2024, I was like, I don't think I'm done. I think I want to go back and build this new tech that I kind of been holding on to. I actually had this thing drawn up for 10 years, and I just didn't think the market was ready for it. And I'm sitting here going, what am I going to call my next wheel company? What am I going to call my next wheel company? I'm like, how to hell with it? I'm just going to call it Next Wheels. And I looked it up, and it was available. So we kind of went with that. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's kind of hard to find something that's simple and rememberable and, doesn't sound stupid. So it's one of those things that kind of clicked, and then the logo kind of got put together, and the branding, and I'm like, okay, I think we can go with this. All that stuff was kind of window dressing for the product. I just really care about making the best product and making sure that we can get it into guys' hands and they're happy with it. So that's what I've been doing all my life. I mean, we've done it through so many different markets, whether it's open wheel racing or dirt late models or drag racing, NASCAR, IndyCar, land speed racing, Harleys, you name it. And it's one of those things that now that I'm older, I kind of appreciate a lot more of the stuff that I rushed through when I was younger, because I didn't really recognize it or appreciate it then. And so all you young pups out there that are out there, hauling ass going 100 miles an hour thinking you know everything, those old guys you're working with, they've learned a few things along the way too. You ought to pay attention.
I like it. And you got into the open wheel topic there for a few minutes, and you mentioned your dad. Tell the folks out there, he's got some milestones of his own, right?
Yeah. So my dad actually, my dad won the Knoxville Nationals for sprint cars in 1963. My uncle Kenny actually won it in 64. My dad finished second to my uncle. Kenny actually won it in 65 and 72 and 73. So he was the first 4-time winner. My dad went on to win the 1967 USAC Sprint Car Championship. He ran the Indianapolis 500 in 1970. And by then, what's crazy is he ran the Indy 500 when he was like 23, and he quit racing essentially when he was 25 because he was too busy with the wheel company. So he was kind of a washed up retired racer, in his mid 20s, because he just kind of saw the bigger picture that wheels were his future. And, that's kind of, why I've, like I said, I grew up in a household that, racing and wheels and manufacturing was the constant conversation. I mean, it was kind of all devouring type of topic because we never really got off the clock. It was everywhere. Every time we went to a restaurant, we'd flip over the menus and start drawing stuff. If we had an idea for an operation or something, it's hard for people to kind of understand the craziness that we did, but it all kind of worked. And now looking back, I talk to people that used to work I got people that used to work for us 20 years ago that I still see. I just got off the phone with one about 20 minutes ago that worked in my R&D shop. And I'm still friends with all these folks because, they're like family. And it's something that, people don't realize how much you pick up from the people that you work with every day. And, I did the same thing. Like when we were, back in the day, I worked a lot with racers, as odd of a duck as Scott Bloomquist was, that guy from an analytical standpoint on the cars was extremely smart. And he used to absolutely give me hell about building wheels that were true and straight and trying different stuff and offsets, and I used to just want to pull my hair out and hang up on the guy. But I did realize he's only doing this because he actually wants the best product. And what he did, raising hell, actually made our product better. And that's one of the things that I think from a manufacturer standpoint that a lot of people don't listen enough to the racers. And I mean, I give out my personal cell phone is on the website. My personal cell phone is on all social media. I get a lot of calls. I get a lot of messages, but I don't care because at the end of the day, if somebody's got a question or they've got a problem, there's probably only one ass to kick on that. It's mine. And I'd much rather them just call me and we talk it out and figure out how to make them happy again than them get, pushed around or sent on an email, wild goose chase.
Well, the product you mentioned, folks calling you and how quick you can get the turnaround. For the folks listening to this that are racers, how can they get your product? Where do they need to go? What's all the details? And how can they get a Next Racing wheel on their race car?
It's pretty simple. nextracingwheels.com or Next Racing Wheels on Instagram or Facebook. Or, all like I said, all my contact info is directly on the website. And I try to make it easy. I've been doing this too long to play any, funny tricks or games. I always kind of tell people I'm pretty much a no bullshit person. I try to make it as easy as possible and just cut to, what you guys need. Because, nobody's calling me, in Kansas City to find out what the weather's like. They just want their product.
Well, Taylor, man, we appreciate it. We're hearing a lot of good things about your product, and to hear you explain it, there's a lot of pride that goes into it, and that's what I think makes it good. So we appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time, and look forward to seeing Next Racing Wheels on a lot of race cars as we go through the rest of the 2026 season.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Coming up, we'll wrap up the show and give you a look at what's on the way for week 27 of the Crate Racing USA National Points on the way when we return to Crate Racing USA Live.
Crate Racing USA Live will return after this commercial break.
Feel the thunder. Experience the heart-pounding action of Crate Racing USA from dirt tracks across the South. Catch every lap, every pass,
3 wide, just momentarily for the
every victory with Crate Racing USA TV.
The modified main event on this Friday night.
Watch live events or dive into on-demand replays anytime. Whether it's a single night shootout or a full weekend of racing, you're in control. Never miss a moment. Watch from anywhere. Visit CrateRacingUSA.tv now for upcoming events and full race replays. Crate Racing USA TV, America's leader in racing.
When performance matters, champions choose Hoosier Racing Tires. As the largest race tire manufacturer in the world, Hoosier produces over 1,000 different types of race tires, engineered for speed, precision, and winning results. With cutting-edge technology like a 300-mile-per-hour test wheel, a state-of-the-art production facility, and advanced mixing plant, Hoosier continues to lead the way in racing innovation worldwide. Hoosier Racing Tires. We fuel passion, pride, and success with our tires designed for champions. Order today at HoosierTire.com or call 574-784-3152. Hoosier Racing Tires. Tires designed for champions.
Racers are dedicated to winning. And Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed circle track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance circle track crate engines are engineered to win. Right out of the box.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts, based in Brandon, Mississippi, continues to power racers across the Deep South with top-quality Chevrolet performance products. Known as the go-to dealer for reliability and performance, Rogers Dabbs guarantees the lowest prices on 602s, 604s, and 525 engines. Get yours today and stay ahead of the competition. Visit RDC123.com or check out Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts on Facebook. Welcome back to Crate Racing USA Live as we get ready to wrap up this week's edition of the show. No series action this weekend. That's even including the sanctioned series. It's all about weekly racing. And on Friday, Week 27 gets underway. That's right, only 5 weeks left in the National Points season. Hattiesburg Speedway will have double points for the Crate Racing USA Street Stocks on Friday night, and Highway 72 Speedway in Corinth, Mississippi will have a weekly racing program. A full slate of action on Saturday. Baton Rouge Raceway, it's the Hurricane Area Spooper Sprints will be in town. Blackwater Speedway, they will have no CRUSA classes this week, but a reminder, they've got double points set up for September 4th. Cedar Ridge Speedway in Morgantown, Kentucky, they'll have double points for the street stocks on Saturday night. Fan Appreciation Night happens at Deep South Speedway in Loxley, Alabama. Greenville Speedway will have a weekly racing program in Greenville, Mississippi. It's double points for the Crate Racing USA Dirt Late Models and the Crate Racing USA Late Model Sportsman at Jackson Motor Speedway this Saturday night. The USCS Sprint Cars and double points for CRUSA classes at Needmore Speedway Saturday night. Going to be a big night down in Norman Park. Pine Ridge Speedway in Guntown, Mississippi. It's Drivers Get In Free night. Hey, you can't beat that if you're a competitor. Swainsboro Raceway, the Borough will have a weekly racing program on Saturday night. TST Cup points action back at the Hornets Nest at Talladega in East Teboga. Thunderhill Raceway in Summertown, Tennessee will have a mini stock event. How about $2,000 to win for the mini stocks and then $2,000 to win for the SM4 minis, as it is the Terry Cook Memorial on the high banks of Summertown. Western Kentucky Speedway in Madisonville, Kentucky will have action on Saturday night, and it's double points for the Crate Racing USA Modified Sportsman at Extreme Speedway in Danville, Alabama on Saturday night. That's what's going on this week. You can find out all that information and everything else at the brand new website. Check out CrateRacingUSA.com. That's CrateRacingUSA.com. Events, points, rules, sanction tracks, you name it. It's all at the palm of your hand at CrateRacingUSA.com. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. We want to say a big thank you to Taylor TJ Weld for being with us to talk about his product, Next Racing Wheels. And a big thank you to the newest king of the mods, Logan Hickerson, who joined us on this week's show. Hey, thanks for spending your time with us. Thanks for liking. Thanks for following. Thanks for sharing. And we hope to see you at a track. Better yet, we hope to see you right here next week as we count down to a big Labor Day weekend across the Southeast. My name's Cody Earley. On behalf of Adam Stewart and the entire staff of Crate Racing USA, have a great night, and thanks for spending your evening with us.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of Crate Racing USA. Crate Racing USA would like to thank our fans for their support, and we hope you enjoyed this broadcast.